There's no time to waste. There's no time to wait around. If you're waiting on an opportunity. The opportunities don't knock, man. You got to go get them. The people who are at home that are not earning money right now does not believe that it's possible to be me and you. They think that we got lucky. That's a fact, okay? They think that we got lucky, or we done the right things, or we made the right moves. There is no thing. There's no such thing as getting lucky. There's being in the right place with the right people, but putting yourself there is a different story. I make my luck. You make your luck. You make your luck happen.
Good to see you again.
Breathe. How are you keeping? You well?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Thanks for flying in to meet with me.
100%, it's honour. It's absolutely honour to having to see you at the show.
Yeah.
And then introduce yourself.
So yeah, I'm Micheal Marty Byrne. I started off my, I suppose, TV career, or indoor to the TV entertainment industry in 2007. I went from security to tour manager. 2011, I went to cast manager for TV reality. And then I started to work on entrepreneurial business side of things from 2017. I quickly realised that fame wasn't a place to make much money in Ireland, so I quickly adapted to making money, and that became more of a passion, and the fame kind of followed the business as opposed to me chasing the fame, if that makes sense. So I've done quite a lot. I grew up here in Finglas, which is why it was really nice for me to be here. This is a very, very good place for me to be. I feel very comfortable in Finglas. Every time, a problem occurs, or I hit rock bottom, or I always come back to my roots like Rocky Balboa. So this is my town. This is
your
this
town.
is my city. I love my city. Yeah, this is my city.
All right, that's very interesting. From Finglas, you become a very successful man.
Yeah.
And then, what age are you decide to become who you are today? What was your goal like? How did you come across in this idea?
Many different ideas. I really want to this is very, very important for me to get this podcast 100% right, because I've looked back on brief clips of some of the ones that I've done, and I haven't really targeted the audience specifically. I've been boasting and bantering really quickly and talking really fast, and I wanted to really get the message across to the people that are going to watch this, so that they can be inspired to do some of the things, even a percentage of the things that I've done. And for me, it's not just about me getting out who I am, what I've done. Yes, and if that motivates people, and that's what I want to do. It's very, very important for me that I actually captivate an audience that will get off the couch and stop buying a lotto ticket and hoping for an opportunity to knock at the door. For me, the most important thing here is that this might, even if it changes one or two people's lives, even if it's an extra 10 or 20 quid a month or whatever it is, I'm sure it will be more than that if you take any of the information I'm saying on board. But if you do something to change your life, now's an opportunity for you to listen and, turn off the TV and switch onto your laptop or whatever you're going to listen to this on, and you will pick up on some things that have absolutely changed my life. I've gone through a lot of experience in what not to do. And the best advice, there's a lot of advice I'm going to give today. It's only my advice. Everyone's based and born in different categories. Your advice is based on your experiences. Mine have been a lot of failures, which has made me super successful. The more failures I've had, the more successes I've had. So it's very, very important that we listen to the failures, the things what not to do, because that's what saves time. And the commodity is that time is worth more than money, because you can make as much money as you can within 10 minutes, but you can't get that 10 minutes back. So therefore, the commodity that I look for is what you do within a short space of time that's effective, as opposed to wasting time, which is where you lose. So when I meet a successful person, first thing I tend to do is ask them about what they've lost, how they've lost. The recession? Was it COVID? What businesses they have? How did they fail? Because that saves me time in failing, and that's how I become more successful. I hang around with those people that know the experience of failure and felt the pain of failure and grew back again from nothing, because they're the people that will teach you how to get there quicker.
What's your advice if a person he fail so bad on his life, and he's made 30 years old and he feel he's leaving cert and he's been at a loss, he don't know what was doing on his life. What's your advice as a businessman, as an entrepreneur?
Don't do your fucking leaving cert. And I mean that with all due respect. The thing is that your Leaving Cert is teaching you to go on, and this is my perspective. There's going to be a lot of people that will disagree. You do need a certain level of education. Yes, you do. You do, if you're going to fly a plane, if you're going to be a pilot, you need to do exams for that. If you're going to be a surgeon, you need to do exams for that. If you want to make money, you don't need to do exams for that. Everything is already out there. The information is out there. But more so importantly than the information, the people are out there that will help you and guide you. If you hang around with the right people and you can kind of contact and connect with them, they will guide you probably quicker than a book, or probably quicker than an education platform would. Education is government-based. It's programmed into your mind from an early age. And it's good. I would say you need as much education as you can, unless you're going to be a pilot or a surgeon or something like that you need qualifications specifically for. I would say the best advice is probably around third year is where you really don't need education in your life so much anymore. It's really.
Do you think education is not important at all?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Education is very important.
Nothing in a business way.
I think if you have, okay, so look back on what I've done.
Take us back to your own journey. How did you start it?
I was
because you're from Finglas, in the roughest place in Ireland.
Still love it here. Love it here.
And how did you become who you are? Because the neighborhood is very important. People say, "Oh, like I live in this neighborhood, that neighborhood," but you're a tough neighborhood. How did you come in this neighborhood?
When you're put into a corner with very limited options in life, and your perspective is not very bright, you are a cat in the corner ready to attack. So when you're put into that position in life, when my dad, he was gone, he was out of work, he had cancer, he was terminally ill, 1994. I was probably about 12 or 14, around that age, just early teens. My family was kind of in shatters. My mum had no income. She was in a manic depression state because my dad was so sick. There was no income in the house. There's no food in the house. I've said this on other things. I won't go into it too deeply, but I was put into a position where I had to fend for the family. And I just felt that responsibility role, even though I was the youngest in the family.
Are you the only son in the house?
No. There was three of us. But I was just the one that had that spark to kind of do something. I was the lion, I was the hungry one. I was the one.
You're the wolf of the family.
Yeah, I was the one that would basically, somebody would throw an egg at the window, I'd throw a brick at the fucking car. I was the one that went out to attack.
There's only one person in the family.
Yeah, that was only me. And it still is to this day.
Still is.
Yeah, I love my brother and sister so much, but they work with me now, actually. They're part of my team, but we work great together. My brother came with me to, we won the Samuel Leeds thing in Edinburgh. We got the most properties within the shortest space of time. We got 7 properties in 6 months over in Edinburgh.
As a family business, you just say because your brother and sister work with you.
Yeah,
you're running as a family business.
They work with me.
Or work with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
My sister is my area manager for my businesses, the service-based spas. And yeah, so I'm very close with my family. But I suppose, my brother is very enthusiastic. He's kind of always there. He's great with the mind, the brain to think of these creative ideas. But I guess I'm the one that kind of walks the talk. I'm the one that kind of gets out there and does that. Like this morning, we had a deal put in for the hotel. I was telling you a bit about it. And we put in for this deal 3 months ago. We put in for numerous deals 3 months ago. And we just had this bite to kind of go for these hotels. And my own hotel was something that I kind of wanted to have. And one of them fell through. And Christine got the phone call. And I was there this morning at the very next available appointment. And we literally went through the heads of terms this morning. And the deal is done. That's it. And I just, I said to them, look, we're going to take this. This is what we want. This is what we need. Let's get it on the paper today. We drafted up heads of terms today straight away. Contracts are with solicitors. That's it. Boom, done. Like, there's no time to waste. There's no time to wait around. If you're waiting on an opportunity. The opportunities don't knock, man. You got to go get them.
The way you started and the way I know you, through your social media, because you're doing from TV presenter, and then you're a judge in the fashion industry, and then now you become a hotel business. How do you balance all this in your personal life, daily basis?
I tend to be a bit biased. It's a very good question, and this is me being honest with you. I love the chase of the business. I bought the Glamour Awards. Actually, one thing that was missing in Ireland, we didn't have a Glamour Awards. I spoke with some big friends in the industry and they said that we haven't had an award ceremony since the Meteor Awards 15, 20 years ago. So I thought that was something that was missing. So I reached out to the awards company in the UK, and they actually have a Glamour Award section, and it's quite well done. It's actually on next week. I'm flying out to London to see it and meet Antonio, the owner, and I actually bought the franchise for that in Ireland. It's going to be in the biggest venue in Ireland.
What was the franchise?
It's Antonio. He owns the Fetish Awards UK. Right. He also owns the Glamour Awards UK. Him and one of the other directors. So this was an open market for me. And this is something that we haven't recognised achievements awards in Ireland with TV. With everybody's hard work. I mean, Love Hate was one of the biggest shows. I thought that was a great show in Ireland.
It is. It's a first show, very successful, well done in Ireland and the UK as well.
One of the first shows. I mean, fair enough. I'll give my hat off. I was the cast manager for California. Probably one of the first reality TV shows in Ireland. So we done what we done. I've no regrets on it. There was a lot of positive and negatives, but
it is. I think it was a very true story about it.
We've learned
something new.
But there was no award afterwards. There was nothing to acknowledge or recognise anybody's abilities in any of these things. So I reached out to the Lord Mayor. And we are doing a big gig in the Mansion House for the Glamour Awards. It's to recognise artists and their abilities and bring them back home to Ireland to acknowledge their achievements.
How did you know Lord Mayor? You just mentioned it.
How did I know about
Lord Mayor?
Well, they change every year, so it's really hard to kind of get to know them. But we actually, I was in the Lord Mayor's house.
Because one of them is my very close friend.
Yeah.
His son, he owned the restaurant beside it. We can't mention the name of it.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying not to promote too many events here. But we actually won an award for our contribution to Irish TV. So I think it was one of the Miss Bikini TV shows we done on Sky TV, and that was going back a couple of years ago. But that was they've changed since then. But yeah, so the Lord Mayor will acknowledge the winners and present the winners' trophies and awards for the Glamour Awards. As their house is right next door, I think it might be convenient to drop in for a cup of tea,
Looks like your hands full.
Well, like
your plate is full, like you have no time at all.
See, that's the thing. I love to find the business, and then I love to set it up, get everything ready, infrastructure, and then pass it on and delegate that to...
How did you, come across with all different business and you try to fit yourself inside? Because you're doing a multi-business, you just say that, and then how did you want to fit all, from one door to the other door? How you want to balance all this, You want to make sure everything's on your hand. Because we do business, I want to make sure we focus on one, we pass the other one. And then I know you have Christine on your side, she's doing all your things, but your family's on your side.
Well, there's a full team, I have a full management team. But here's the thing, have you seen the McDonald's movie?
No.
Okay, so if you watch that McDonald's movie, I should read more books than movies, it's a known fact. But I did watch that movie. And what that movie taught was that the more McDonald's expanded in their business, the less quality control was monitored. So which means that the bigger my businesses became, it became harder, as you've multiple businesses as well, it becomes harder to keep the quality control. And so you're hiring a team of professional managers and you're meeting them in a boardroom such as this, once a month on a Monday, whatever. And then you're kind of going through your portfolio and they're telling you this is working, that's not working. But then you go out to the shop and they just, you need to find an effective management team to put infrastructure in place, because then it builds that pyramid effect. When you're controlling your managers are controlling your staff. And once you have that effectiveness in place, and once they know that you're not, look, here's the thing, you've got cameras here, we've got cameras in all our buildings, our businesses, yeah? We look for something on them. Nobody's going to sit there watching the cameras 24/7. But if they think you are, that's the key, to let them know that you've got good management infrastructure. So you're picking something up off the camera, you're meeting with your management team, you're telling them about this is right, that's wrong, and then you're noticing that the managers only roster themselves in for one day a month. So you're like, how did they know what's wrong? I'm with the wrong person here. So you got to get the right team in place, the right infrastructure to make sure that your delegations are working key properly. That's it.
You just say about the business structure, about McDonald's movie. I think your point is to be successful in the high level of your life, you need a team. Because
you need the right team.
You can't do it by yourself, because as you just said, because you're very busy and you have a team too. Is that team helping you what to do? Because my team, through the podcast, they do everything. But this young man...
I want to get into deep, sorry, I'm not going to cut across, but I do want to get into deep conversation, and I want to pick a selective category to really help the viewers, because that's what I'm really here to do. We will get into that, and we'll have a chat about that, but I really want to get into connecting with the viewers, and I want to show them how to do something from nothing.
Please, yeah,
Grown up from Fingless here.
Yeah, this is what we hear.
Grown up from Fingless here, I was in a queue just near the old swimming pool that I used to go to. Across the road from that is a place called the Social Welfare Office, and for a long time there I was queuing up for, I think as a younger kid, 188 quid before 2017, and I used to have to sign a thing and queue up, and it was embarrassing. I used to have my hood up, and I didn't want people to see me signing that document, you know. That document was to collect the social welfare every week. And even when I became successful, I was still kind of signing because I was nervous. I was so nervous, and I was like, well, what if the businesses fail, you know? But I want the people here in Finglas, and Clondalk and other places. I've lived in 27 houses, man, around the world. It's just so Finglas was one of the places I learned a lot from. But I want those people to know that it's not too late. I'm going to show you a strategy. I'm going to give you a feeling. I'm going to do something very different that I guarantee you nobody has ever done on any podcast here today.
Go on.
And the people that are going to be watching this, I'm going to do something. I promised I wouldn't do it yet because it's a big deal. It's something that I've done in training. It's something that's effectively worked on other people. And I really have studied the psychology behind the subconsciousness. And I've studied The Secret, the book, the energy, the formulas, the way it works, how it works, why it works, and the effectiveness of it. And the effectiveness is the depths of which you believe it will work. So if it's okay with everybody, I'd like to try a little exercise.
Please.
Rather than going into questions.
We all want to learn something new, you know.
Okay. So everybody has this belief. And please just calm. Take a breath, 3 deep breaths at home, relax, okay? Everybody has their own perspective on everything. Let's bring it right down, okay? Everybody has their own perspective and beliefs on everything. The people who are at home that are not earning money right now does not believe that it's possible to be me and you. They think that we got lucky. That's a fact, okay? They think that we got lucky, or we done the right things, or we made the right moves. There's no such thing as getting lucky. There's being in the right place with the right people, but putting yourself there is a different story. I make my luck. You make your luck. You make your luck happen. And so it's not a case of waiting on the lottery numbers. That is probably a little bit of luck in there, but you'll be waiting the rest of your life for that sort of luck. So here's the thing. I'm going to do a little exercise, okay? If it's okay with everybody. I want you to just do one of two things for me right now. Right now at home, if you're listening, do one of two things, okay? If you want to do this exercise, I want you to just give yourself a nod, acknowledge that you're doing this exercise. So nod to yourself. I know it sounds a bit ridiculous, but just do it. Or if you want to really do this, just put your hand up on your own, in your room by yourself, put your hand up, okay? If you're doing one of these two things, okay? If you decided to put your hand up, you have acknowledged that you really want to do this, no matter who's around you right now, no matter who's listening. But you putting your hand up, it's more of an acknowledgement, it's an engagement of excitement of what you're about to learn, and you're opening your mind up to the possibility of receiving this information. If you nod your head, you're probably not as subconsciously aware that this will work, but you can still try the exercise. I'm just giving you the transparency of the two, okay? This is an exercise. Now, right now, on this screen here behind us, okay, you have there a Abbey podcast, okay? So let's just visualize that these are your lottery numbers. Let's just visualize that bit of paper there is your lottery numbers, okay? We're going to do this exercise. So you have your 5 or 6 numbers, okay? You don't really need the bonus to get successful, but let's just say you have a lottery ticket, okay? Now just calm it down. And your numbers are coming out. So the A, let's say, is the number 16. You tick that off, okay? And then you have your numbers. And so you're going through it. And each number, you get a little bit more excited, okay? You get a little bit more excited. You're thinking, this is never going to work. And then you're on the 4th number, and it comes out. It's number 7. It comes out, okay? So you're watching the screen. You're feeling this moment. Your heart is racing. You're getting excited, okay? So you're feeling like lucky, okay? You're believing in the luck, and next number comes out. You get all 5 numbers. You even got the bonus, okay? Right now at this moment, you're panicking. Your whole life is flashing. You're thinking, what am I going to do? You know, oh my God, I've come from this. Oh my God, my kids' holidays. Everything's going through your head. What car do they want? You know, everything, right? So you have that feeling of mixed emotion. Okay, that's fine. So you ring the bank the next morning, and the bank say, yes, you have won the lotto, whatever, the national lottery, and we're going to take 10 days to cash this check. Okay, so 10 days is that feeling. So I want you to do me a favor. Okay, just That bit of paper. Do you have a blank bit of paper there? Okay. So just write on that bit of paper. Okay, we're going to half this. Okay. Now this is a silly little exercise, but it will work. Okay. I want you to do me a favor. Just write down. Okay. You haven't seen what I wrote. Okay. I haven't seen what you wrote. You're going to write down the number of the amount that you just won on the lottery. Okay. Now I want you to fold it. Okay. I want you to put it in your inside pocket. Now already you have a change of your mentality, okay? This is just a basic exercise, okay? Now, this is the number that you've just won on the lottery, okay? In the next 10 days, your mind frame is going to completely change. The reason being is because your subconscious knows that this money is coming to you. So you're already thinking differently. You're already thinking like an entrepreneur. Even though you're broke, you've not made a penny yet. But in your mind, you have this money coming to you. In your mind, this money is landing in your account in 10 days, so your perspective on how you look at everything around you is going to be very different. You're thinking, if I get that building, maybe if I get this, I can get a loan against it. So you're talking to the right people then, because you're now money people. So you're looking to communicate with people with money, because they're the ones that are going to say, well, you know what? You don't need to buy this property, but if you get that property small, then you can get a loan against that property, you can buy a bigger property, and then it's a domino effect. With the collateral of that and the equity going up in value, you can buy the next property. So already, you haven't even made a penny yet, and your mind is thinking how to make money in business. Now, imagine if you haven't won the lotto, and nothing has ever changed, and you're still at the dole queue for 188 quid, your mind frame is going to stay there. All I've done is just change the energy formula in your subconsciousness to make believe that what's coming to you is a different level, and then you can therefore start to reach around, okay? Now just take out the money. I'm curious to see how much you've earned on the lotto. How much did you make on the lotto? I'll tell you how much I made. Sometimes the subconsciousness works in a weird way. I made 14 million.
I just put it for 7 million.
That's a formula. And if you guys done that at home, what I want you to do is, and seriously, I want you to keep that in here. Don't tell anybody how much you've won, okay? But keep that in here. When you're walking around the street, just have a look around you and have a look with the concept of mentality and subconsciousness that you have this in your mind, okay? Just have a look and you'll see things differently. Instead of seeing black and white, you will see a bit of colour. You'll see some clarity. You'll see the subconsciousness starting to work in a way that's never worked before. And just open it and remind yourself, okay, this is coming to me in 9 days, 6 days, 5 days. Even though it might not get there, it's probably not going to get there. If you bring that into a bank, they'll probably arrest you. But even though, the point I'm making is that your mentality has changed, your subconscious awareness has changed, how you see the world differently has changed. And the people that you're talking to, you no longer have time to talk to Margaret about the school kids getting off 5 minutes earlier. You don't have that time frame. You don't have the time frame to talk about, who's making the coffee in the canteen today. That becomes very small talk. And the way that you think starts to become so much bigger, and the people that you want to communicate with become so much bigger because your mentality has all changed. Now that's an exercise that will work. I've tried it with 3 to 5 people over the last week.
Can you not say it's not a better way you can say like they can set up a goal monthly instead of like 100 million or 40 million? Like if people has from 300 euro per week and normal wages, and he can't dream about like 40 million. It's hard for them. So can you not say how he can raise his salary?
Yeah, we're going to do that.
300. Yeah. He can make like 5k average, because right now, if you earn 3,000 euro monthly is average salary. Yeah. In Dublin, and you're broke. You're broke.
If you're on 3,000 a month.
Yeah, it's nothing.
No, I don't know.
Because you're gonna pay like a 2,000 euro rent.
Yeah.
And you have a ground lift.
Right. Okay. So let's do it from the ground back.
Can you not say like people say if you make a 5 grand in a monthly, you be living average life.
Yeah. The point of this exercise here, Abby, is that we want to get the mentality changed into people's perspective. I'm going to show you a different scenario into how you can build a business with no money. I can tell you, I can blow your mind with what I'm about to tell you in a couple of sentences, but the mentality is what's most important, because if I show you how to set up a successful business using no money at all, no money, which I've done, the point is that you won't be able to control that, because you have to, I don't know if you're any different, but every entrepreneur that I've spoke to, they've always lost their first chunk of money. They've always spent it stupidly on the sports car that they've always wanted. When they first come into that bit of money, it's exciting for them and they think it's going to last forever, and it doesn't. So the first thing that they will do is they will lose that money.
You see, 2 years ago, they took everything from me. They took, include my cat, my dog. They didn't let me to see my own daughter for 8 months. I have 2 beautiful
The government
daughters.
took your cat.
My cat, yes. My house.
What pussies? Okay. Go
And
on.
then I don't have access to
I
my
didn't know
own.
the government to take your cat.
Oh, they can do. They can do whatever fuck
You
they
can
want
kick
to
a man
do.
with a horse, but it's not really.
They took everything from me, and then my problem is, I'm always saying is the rule: come with the truth after me, but don't ever come with the lies. I hate lies. You come after me with lies. Trust me, take my time. I'll come after you so bad. It was a big allegation against me, as a massive allegation.
Okay,
I don't want to go through all of that.
Right.
Okay,
That might be a different podcast.
it's going to be. It's on social media. We spoke a little bit on my first broadcast. They took everything from me. Okay, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they took me with my underwear. My own sister brought me I was in the court. My sister brought me a tracksuit to wear it.
Wow.
Okay.
You fit right in Dublin with a tracksuit.
Yeah. And then the man never wear tracksuits, you know. But when takes me exactly 2 years to become sitting in this office.
Okay.
Because I just
You
want
see,
to, I just want to prove your point. You know, it can start with nothing. But there is a but here. I think the money not going to bring you a value. Your word is going to bring you more value in the market. If you have a trustable word in the industry business, they can bring you back what you are.
But I think the most effective thing is that we amalgamate all the concepts. We look at everything differently, because what we're doing here now at the moment is we're jumping through subjects, and we really want to hit the nail on the head here and specifically go after targets.
Yep.
I want to make this demo very precise and rule out all the BS talk. I want to do some facts, do a demonstration on how, you know, I get what you're saying, you're dead right, I completely agree with you. But for those people sitting at home, in their homes, you know, on the level that I was on, we need to get them to transition that period. So what we started here with was the mentality of seeing things from somebody that has money's perspective, somebody that has that hindsight, that colour vision as opposed to black and white. And that little exercise there will work for some people at home. And listen back to it, it will work for them. Because they go out with a different mentality, and it works. Because that's believing. It's the secret there in a formula. The book, The Secret, it's given them the formula of looking at things differently through a different perspective. Dream, believe, achieve. So if they can believe that they have it, then they can dream that they're going to get it, and they can achieve it. I'm putting that in a physical format for them to make it easier, because people don't really understand when you say dream, believe, achieve. How does that work? So this is kind of a physical format that I've come up with as to how that might work for them, to kind of have that perspective. Now, physically doing it is a different story. Here's how we're going to physically do it. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a chalkboard or anything like that, but I'll do the best that
Next
I
time
can.
I'm going to bring a blackboard board.
Yeah, but for now, just visualize. I'll probably do something like this because I'm a very visual, kind of hands-on person. But for now, here's what I want you to do, okay? Okay, I will show you guys some of this as well, okay? When you get to the level, okay, very important, 2 things, okay? A and N-A, okay? Very clear, okay? Here's what you got to do. Here's where I went wrong. Here's what nobody told me not to do, okay? This is very important. This is where you build up your credibility, and this is where you lose your credibility. So with the banks is run by people. The banks is not run by the banks. The banks, people's money goes into the banks, and then the banks use their money to build equity, and they make money off other people. So the banks allow you to make loans. They're very specific. They love to give out NA loans. The reason the bank love to give NA loans out is because an NA loan would be the likes of your wedding, okay? You want to pay for the wedding, or the sports car, okay? So let's sports car, okay? Your wedding, you know, stuff like that. So these are, you can call them non-appreciation value loans, okay? And these are asset loans, okay? So asset loans is the way to go, okay? This is where I went wrong at the start. I bought 8 supercars. Okay, Chevrolets, Mustangs, I bought them all, okay? And I was raking in the money. I was on 19 grand a week, 19K a week. That was my margin, okay? That was Christmas 2018. I was on 19 grand a week profit, okay? This was from all my businesses. I thought there was nothing like this. The banks would give me anything I wanted. I can get loans. I didn't even want to get loans. I was so focused on the money I was getting. I went there, I bought supercars. I'm not going to say what I've done, but I went nuts, all right? Went to every country you can think of. Now, here's what happened. When the business slowed down a little bit, I didn't have very much in the A's. I didn't have very much assets. I had the businesses that were still coming in, but I didn't reinvest. Instead, I spent all the non-asset money. So this is what I learned very quickly. When I needed to reinvest, I didn't. So then the bank saw that my money was starting to slow down a little bit. We were starting to hit COVID. I did have 7 properties as assets in Edinburgh. You'll probably see that on the Samuel Leeds documentary. And so in Edinburgh, I did start.
Why did you go to Edinburgh?
Because I was working with 2 brothers, Lloyd and Howard, and they were very successful with Ireland. Although there was a lot of things starting to clamp down in Ireland with renting property, such as Airbnbs. So we decided to change the system around a little bit. Properties were easier to get in the UK. And for us in Ireland, a property was probably going to be 400 or 500 grand for a decent property. Over in Edinburgh, you'd probably get the effect of that, the same quality of that, for probably to go to about 80 grand pounds. So for us to spend $500,000 in Ireland to get the same property that you'd probably get in Edinburgh, it made sense for us to kind of look at the UK market. Okay. That was one of the reasons. But the only downside to it was that obviously the rents coming in were the same level as what you would buy. So a rent coming in Ireland would probably be $3 grand a month, whereas a rent coming in Edinburgh would probably be 700 quid a month for a whole building. So you have to understand and appreciate the value. The equity, of course, was slower going up as well. By buying a cheaper property, of course, if you're buying a property in Ireland for $500,000, the equity shoots up. So there's loads of different systems.
Right.
This system is just to buy a property. This is just giving you the general value of a property. I'm going to show you a different system here, but this is just one. So you're making money over a period of 5 to 10 years. You're doubling to 1 million. Throughout this period of time, you haven't lived in the property, you've rented it out, you've made money off it, you've made in excess of probably 700 quid, roughly on average, per month profit. So by you getting this property, you've made profit of 700 quid a month, you've built it up to 1 million, you've doubled the equity value, and then, of course, you can use this property to get a loan against another property. So you can use
revalue your old property and then
revalue,
okay.
Yeah. So then you can use this to get another property, which has no effect on this property or the value of it. So then that's a knock-on effect in Dublin. And that's just to buy. A lot of people are not in a position to buy. Somebody wants to buy a house in Ireland. They're trained and programmed by skill, by governments, that the best way to do this is actually to buy the property to live in it. That's the worst thing you can ever do in your life. You're living on your own assets. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's how we do it for free. Here's how we do it for free. So here's the secret that I don't give anybody, okay? Nobody has any money. You're walking by a building, okay? Anybody here, put your hands up, anybody here that has walked by a hotel, seen it being built, and the place has not got a name yet, and this hotel is just brand new, and you can see that it's on Central, it's on Pearse Street, or it's on Henry Street, or St. William Street, or wherever it is, and it hasn't got a name, or it's been refurbished or rebranded. All right? Has nobody ever thought of okay, so what search? I actually done it. I'll tell you one of the ones that I own, shall I?
Please, just show how we can do it.
I own fucking loads of them.
That people viewing it, maybe we can buy the first property,
Here's what we're going to do. I'll give you a list here, okay? If you look at any domain names are something you can buy on GoDaddy for 150 to 2-3 quid, all right? I bought the Marion Spa. I don't own the Marion Spa. I own the Marion Day Spa. I bought the name. I bought the Fitzwilliam Spa. I don't own the Fitzwilliam Spa, but I bought the domain name. I bought the Dawson Hotel. I don't own the Dawson Hotel, but I bought the domain name. I own the Dawson Spa. So the point I'm making is that I bought a rake of domain names. There's one on Henry Street that I just bought, and it's the Henry Hotel. Now, guess what the Henry Hotel Board of Directors have not done? They haven't bought the bloody name. They built a hotel. Nobody bought the name. So next of all, what do they need? I bought the domains for about 5 or 6 different variations of this. The Dawson, or the Henry Hotel, the henryhotel.ie, the henryhotel.com. I bought everything around that, and I knew that the hotel was going to be called the Henry, such as the Central. So I have somebody that looks out for these, and then we charge the company 50 grand to buy the name for me that I spent €1 on. Seems very simple, right? Nobody's ever thought of this, but you walk by these buildings every day of the week because they're not thinking this way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's just one idea of a lot of secrets that I've never given away on public, right?
Now you just give it.
I just gave it away. 50k is what a board of directors will pay for the brand name for a hotel. All right? This has happened. It's done. I own most of them, so good luck finding some. But yeah, it's something that works really, really well. A board of directors, if you can find out where or what's going to be built there before, at an earlier point with the blueprint stages, you will make this money on domain names. That's just one exercise of many secrets that I'm not going to give away all of them because I need to make a lot of money for me too.
Yeah,
but these are just things that I've done. Nobody thinks that way. Nobody thinks, it's not a risk. How's that a risk? What, 3 quid to make 50 grand? I call that a good investment, wouldn't you? So, I mean, that's just a simplicity way. Now, here's another one, okay? Or to or. Have anybody ever heard of or to or? The exercise that I previously showed you was just to get used to the value. Nobody has 500 grand. And the majority, you're 99% watching this at home. You're not the 1% margin. And that's fine, okay? We don't have that money. Here's how we get it. Okay, so or to or is a very simple process. It's called rent to rent, and this is something that I've done and have become very successful in the start of my career in making money. So we approach, it actually works a lot better. I can't give you that one.
No, look. We can't hide anything. There's nothing hide. Now you want to say, you have to say it.
Okay, so it works better commercially than it does residentially. Right, so or to or is basically rent to rent. Basically what it is you can't afford to buy a property. But if you own the property, I can afford to rent this property from you, okay? So what I'll do is, in Edinburgh, there is a rule. It's the 2-month license fee. So you can rent a property from a landlord for 2 months, and it's a bit of a pain in the ass, really, for the landlord, because every 2 months he could be looking for a new tenant. I come in with this business, Howard and me come in with this business. He corrected me on this before. And we set up a commercial lease. Doesn't exist. Came from fuzzy wuzzy land. Anyway, we set up this lease agreement. And basically it was a 24-month contract that we brought to the agency. They loved the idea.
Who wrote that lease contract?
We did. We designed our own with our solicitors. Okay. So we proposed to the landlords who were getting messed around because they were getting tenants moving in every 2 months, yes. Maybe waiting 6 months for the next tenant, not being able to afford their mortgages. So we gave them a 24-month lease, which is gold to them. And in Edinburgh, there's only a 2-month lease on a building. Can you believe that? Over here, we've got a year, I think, at least.
It's 12 months.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the difference. So we come in with this commercial rent-to-rent contract lease. So what that means, I'm talking too fast. What that means is that, let's say in Edinburgh, the property, my luxury property on York Place, it's right in the centre of Edinburgh. It's a penthouse, beautiful, top spec, amazing. This one was quite expensive. It was $2.5 grand per month. Probably the most expensive property that you'll probably rent out in Edinburgh. That's pounds. And you don't really pay that sort of money for properties, but this one was creme de la creme. This one, I approached the landlord on. I hadn't got $2.5 grand. Hadn't got it. How did I do it? I made a deal with him, okay? So we signed the deal. Here's what we done. We signed the deal to start, let's say, from the 1st of March, okay? So before the 1st of March, I knew that I had this deal in the bag. I knew that I had to give him $2.5 grand plus $2.5 grand deposit, which was $5 grand before the 1st of March, and I had a month to get the money. I had no money. What did I do? I opened up an Airbnb account, I opened up bookings.com, I opened up all these platforms, and I sold the shit out of the house before March 1st to pay for the $5 grand that I didn't have. Okay? So the $5 grand was well paid, and I already had made profit before the house even opened. I had the pictures, I had the property, I had it all styled up on the websites, it looked amazing. So the property had paid for itself before the property was even mine. Does that make sense?
100%. I think this is
where the people at home
start the business. Yeah. This is exactly how it's
without any money, I had already sold the business, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I had full of tenants. It was a luxury property. I was probably going for about 500-600 quid per night. It slept about 8 people. It was quite big. So you could afford to spend a lot of money on it. I think in the first month, it probably made about 2,000-3,000 profit after I paid the $5 grand profit. So, of course, that went into April. April I sold. So that's how it started off. That was my first ever property. That's how I made money without having any money. I pre-sold. I done that same level commercially, and it made me a millionaire. We don't have time for that today, but that's a different level. That's a risk. Don't get me wrong. That property might not have sold, but you know what happens with a risk? You had nothing starting off with, so what are you going to lose?
Nothing.
Exactly. So if you got nothing, you got nothing to lose, okay? It worked. And then you get used to it. And that's how you start. That's how I started off. I got 7 more of these within 6 months, and I won Samuel Leeds' biggest property.co.uk show. So that's how I done it.
Can you go to Manchester, because we have a property in Manchester as well? I fly a lot in Manchester. Maybe I can use your property for free. I can stay overnight. Manchester is the best place.
I lost all my properties. I lost them all during COVID. Lost everything, which was great for me. It was great, and it's a blessing, because then I had to re-infrastructure everything as to what was going to be recession-proof. It's what's coming next. So I had to turn to e-commerce. I had to turn to different markets of making money. And if I didn't lose, it would have made me very lazy. I was getting lazy because I was getting comfortable. Worst thing you can do as an entrepreneur is get comfortable.
We never be comfortable at all.
A good entrepreneur will never get comfortable. I was getting comfortable.
We always work so hard, 24/7.
But anyway, I hope this exercise, along
that's the brilliant
with this mentality, if you have this mentality of you have this much money and then you formulate this, you put these two together, you will feel like a king and you will become a king. This is the mentality, this is the mindset, and this is the action. You put them two together, you got a supercar, you got a king, okay? So you got to look after yourself, your mental health, but you do this, you go around, don't go around like, Conor McGregor picking on people at the bus stop, but you go around with the mentality and subconscious of being a millionaire, and then you act, you dress up, you get a loan of a fucking suit, sorry for cursing, but you do whatever you got to do. You go and you have these meetings, and you look for what they don't have. That's how you sell something to somebody. Supply and demand. You look for what they don't have, what they need from you, and you offer that an opportunity.
Do you think a person going to start this auto business?
I think somebody will. I think somebody's probably going to jump on buying the domain names first.
I got an idea. I'm going to start up a team to do this for me in 2024.
Well, that's my first time to ever do a podcast where I've actually demonstrated how to make money from nothing. Now, a lot of people think, Jesus, okay. So I don't know how people are going to think, because I know who I felt. I knew that was a big risk. I was breaking it when I done it, but I still done it, It was a starting key point. And I think that's what everyone needs right now, is a starting point. Something that they can grab onto. It's a realistic figure, You're looking to make $2,500. You've got a month to sell this property before you even get it. So you've got that time space to pre-sell your property. Well, I really want to know about the people that will try this. And anyone that put up their hand, I believe you're ready to try this.
Guys, if you try this, or if you want to try it, just leave comment, and then we pass to Micheal, and then we bring him again to the show. We'll continue, and then we'll see how it's going the next one. Hopefully, can give someone else for free. Believe me, I like the idea. I think I'm going to try it in Manchester, not any places, because Manchester is my second home. I really like Manchester.
It's a great place for property, by the way. It's one of the top places for property.
It's so cheap. Like, you can buy a house in Manchester for £60,000.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends in Manchester and a lot of business investors in Manchester, and it's probably one of the places I'm going to target next.
We do event, nightclub event. It's much easier to put an event in Manchester instead of in Dublin. Dublin is so hard. It's a very hard, biggest market.
It's a crushed market, but commercially it's an open market, and that's where the real money is. That's where the super entrepreneurial level comes in. But there's other things. That's just one scheme. That's the rent to rent. It's called rent to rent or to or. There's also the BRR scheme, which is buy, refurbish, refinance, and then there's the LOL scheme, the LOA scheme, which is the lease option agreement. There's so many different levels of what you can do, but this is just the easiest one that people can probably relate to start off with. I really wanted to put down on paper to get it into your mind. And I firmly believe if you guys write down stuff, it's better than listening to a movie, but better than listening to a movie is to read a book. So writing is more important than listening to a movie. The Secret, or whatever movie, it might be a positive movie. Very important that you write everything down. It programs the mind by writing stuff down. And then if you can't write stuff down, then read the book. If you can't do that, then the last thing to do is listen to the movie. So visual, and it goes into visual mind frame, psychological level of you writing things down to them actually becoming a reality, and that is a fact.
Like, could you give a 3 good movie they can watch and learn something? What is it?
Movies, I'm more prone to kind of what books would be really good, but movies, different ones will affect different people. A lot of people like Limitless, but it's not really for me believable enough. It's a pill that's demised from some chemistry lab that's not realistic and can have these brain side effects. You can cause them chemical effects, such as the delusion here of winning the lotto, but that sort of level. I've been known to be associated with Wolf of Wall Street, but a lot of people have, but for random different yacht reasons. But The movies that I would say would be that McDonald's movie is quite entrepreneurial. The Big Short is a very realistic movie. I mean, Rich Dad Poor Dad, great book. If you're looking at that, that's one of the starter books to kind of go off on. The Straight Line, Jordan Belfort. There's loads of them. Grant Cardone's. That was a brilliant one actually. One that inspired me was The Secret Billionaire. Grant Cardone's one. He's done really well on that as well. Secret Billionaire is basically where they go into a different place in America and they shave their head. People don't know that they're multi-billionaires.
I think is that a TV show?
Yeah. It's on. I think it's on Discovery Channel. Yeah. And they go in. I've watched every episode of it. It's amazing. And I've asked a lot of entrepreneurs to team up with me to do something like that because, as you know, I can make money from nothing. And it's really sometimes enthusiastic for an entrepreneur such as me or yourself to have everything taken away from them, to have that feeling of winning again, to have that feeling of what would I do, how would I start to back up? Because I want to relate to everybody at home or everyone that's in an uncomfortable position with their daily life. I want to relate to them and think, I want to show them how to do it from nothing. I want to be with them. Give me somebody that's homeless. Give me somebody that's no money. Give me somebody that's living, on their mum's couch. Like I go to my mum's. I stay in my mum's quite a lot. I'm here in Finglas tonight. I'm staying at my mum's. Because my grounded level has to come down a little bit. I've just been away partying in Spain. I've gone a bit nuts. And you know what? For me to kind of bring that down a notch and to kind of get my ego out of the way, I'll take everything away from myself. I'll strip myself full of my suits. I'm not even wearing a suit today. I always wear a suit. I'll take everything away and I'll break it down to the bare minimum just to kind of balance out my egotistic level of saying, you are Micheal Byrne, but you are a normal person. And yes, okay, so you can buy all your jewelry, you can do all these things. But for me to strip it away, come back to Finglas, that's why I love it here. Come back to my mum's house. She'll cook for me, she'll do all these things. I've all the properties I can stay in, but I really want to just find myself again. And to bring it down and to realise my accomplishments so I can do more. Does that make any sense?
Does money make you happy?
Yeah.
How so?
Does money make you happy? It's up there with oxygen, my man. It's how you use it. Money makes me happy because it makes me help other people. But what's more important is that how I help other people. I've given away 4 cars in my lifetime. There's one remaining person who has one of those cars left. So the point I'm making is that you can give people money. It makes them happy for a while, but they don't appreciate it.
I think I agree with you. Like if you give free money, they never appreciate anything to your life. Personally, they always ask for it. They always take. They never give.
That's true. Family are different sometimes, but here's the thing: you give a man a fishing rod and he will feed himself for a day. But you give him a fishing net, he'll feed his family for life. So what I mean to say by that is that you give him the means to support his own family, the means for his own assets. This sort of situation. And he will either take it or lose it. But more so than me giving him money, I'll give him an idea of how to do it for himself. If he doesn't formulate with this, he's never going to do it. He's not in a position. He's always going to be the one to take. It's just that they've become this pattern of school, program, mind frame. They've done so many years of this. My next level, okay, in your mind, your next level is your communion. You go to confession, you make your debs, then you go do your junior cert, then you go do your leaving cert. Next step is mum goes off, you're going to college. That's great. What am I going to study? I have no idea. Let's just do masters and bullshit. So we study masters and bullshit. So the point I'm making is that every day from the start of your life, you have a next level program. Then before you know it, you're 40 years of age, getting out of college, studying something that you don't even get a job in. And then the next part is the government is saying you want to look at your pension. You're 40 years of age, you just finished all your education. So what you got to do is now you've got to get some infrastructure because, oh my God, I got to get a house for my family. I don't even have a family. God says you have to have a family. The government recommends you get married. They give you a loan for fair play to them. It's a non-appreciative loan. But here's the thing. Your next step is to get that retirement plan, the pension, the house. So all your life, your studies, your program from the government, not to become an entrepreneur, they won't teach you how. You will not see this in school. They will not show you how to do that. And the simple reason is because they don't make money off you doing something like this. The government needs to make money off you. And the only way they can do that is to tell you to get a job, get non-appreciative loans for your wedding, for all these things that you're going to have, your own house that you live in that you don't make money off of. That's the goal of the government. Anyway, I think
thanks very much.
That's a lot. That's a lot
for today, but make sure you're going to come back. We're going to bring a lot of board there. I think you're a very passionate man. You're really, the way you speak, the way you act, it's really great, and you know exactly what's up there in the business, inside outside the business. and then I am sure you'll be very, very helpful to the people up there. They can start from scratch, from nothing, to become something. And then we will talk about this in the future. But I think ROR in the next business, I think you did very good advice. That's perfect. Thank you for coming.
Brilliant. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having me. I really much appreciate it.
See you soon. All right.